Tonight, tariff tactics and another deadline extended. The latest American threat further complicating trade negotiations.
We can't trust a deal with the president.
Plus, rebuilding public trust, plagued with financial scandal and lawsuits, the long road back to credibility at LHSC. And an academic opportunity at Western.
Those students can launch their careers, fulfill their dreams here.
The incentives for American thinkers to study North.
CTV News with Carlyle Fiset.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. We begin tonight with the latest tariff surprise from President Donald Trump. He's threatening a 35% levy on Canadian goods starting August 1st, effectively enforcing another new negotiation deadline. With the latest, here's Colton Prale.
After weeks of pushing for a trade deal, Canada is staring down an even bigger threat.
Frankly, the friends have been worse than the foes in many cases.
President Donald Trump now says he'll put in place 35% tariffs beginning August 1st. The White House says it wouldn't apply to energy tariffs or goods covered by the free trade agreement. But the president hasn't confirmed that.
We're going to see. It was sent yesterday. They called. I think it was fairly well received. It's what we need. So we'll see what happens.
While some critics say the Liberals need to follow through on the elbows up mantra, Ottawa argues it is.
Canada is the only country on earth, along with China, that has imposed so many counter tariffs. So we have had already a very strong response.
Canada didn't retaliate when Trump increased tariffs on steel and aluminum and gave up billions foregoing collection of the digital sales tax after the president ended trade talks over the issue.
Carney's keeping his mind very much on the end game, which is to secure that economic and security framework with the United States.
Since last month, Canada's target for a trade deal has shifted. July 16th quickly became July 21st. And now Canada says the new target is August 1st, before counter tariffs will be applied. But it's the day before that deadline that could make all the difference. That's when the U.S. Supreme Court is set to decide if Trump's executive order tariffs are legal.
The last possible hope for Canada. We can't trust a deal with the president. Our only hope is the courts or Congress. And if we lose the courts, well, then we know where we stand.
The court decision won't impact tariffs on Canadian steel, aluminum, autos, or copper, all of which were applied under a different measure. Colton Prale, CTV News, Ottawa.
Now, these new potential tariffs won't apply universally. White House officials have indicated goods complying with the existing trade agreement will be unaffected. With a breakdown on what counts as compliant and what doesn't, here's Abigail Beeman.
It's just so much fun.
The treasure bin at Rainbow Minerals may be fun. The trade war's impact on the small beading and jewelry supply business is not. American products are 25% more expensive, and they've stopped shipping south because the paperwork is too much. Ash Charania says there's lots of confusion and little help, with the new 35% threat making things worse.
The small businesses are being put in the middle as a pawn. And in the game of chess, those are the pieces that are thrown to the side to get to the bigger picture.
And they determine whether your goods qualify as.
The federal government does offer a guide and KUSMA compliance support phone line, though many don't seem to know about it.
The constant changing of the goalposts and the deadlines and the numbers continues, and that's quite toxic for business.
According to U.S. trade data, in 2024, only 38% of Canadian goods entered the U.S. under CUSMA, while RBC estimates 94% of Canadian exports were actually eligible. Experts say it's a matter of businesses not wanting to deal with the paperwork headache, as well as a lack of enforcement at the border.
Perhaps they thought the juice wasn't worth the squeeze because we were still getting into the United States duty and tariff free. That is no longer the case. And so it is very vital that businesses do it.
In terms of the small list of products not covered by CUSMA, they include a few agricultural goods and some textiles, and others that don't meet the rules of origin requirements.
The vast majority of Canadian exports do qualify for tariff and duty free to the United States.
Experts say getting that KUSMA certification is crucial as everyone waits to see what President Trump's final decision on tariffs may be. Abigail Beeman, CTV News, Ottawa.
Environment Canada has issued a heat warning for London and most of southwestern Ontario. According to the Weather Service, the warning could stay in place until next Thursday. Daytime highs are forecasted up to 32 degrees with humidex values between 35 and 40. Residents are encouraged to limit strenuous activity outside and stay hydrated.
It's getting hot out there. Heat warning, as you heard, in effect, stretching all the way from Windsor through London, Oxford County, Waterloo, Wellington, and in and around Toronto. This will be in effect for numerous days. In terms of our daytime high heading into tomorrow, that'll be our hottest day over the next 7. Outside, it feels like the mid-30s. It will remain extremely warm through the evening. We had a line of showers and thunderstorms move through earlier, and there is the potential for thunderstorms as we head through the next couple of hours. As we hit midnight, the probability will drop off. Lots of instability across southern Ontario, leading to some heavy downpours. We'll be watching that for the weekend. 22 degrees at midnight with light winds. I'll take you through your weekend forecast coming up in just a few minutes. Carlyle?
Thanks, Julie. Fraud allegations in a pair of lawsuits filed by London Health Sciences Centre have many Londoners questioning why concerns didn't come to light sooner. With more on the road to rebuilding trust in one of the city's largest public institutions, here's Daryl Newcomb.
Public confidence rattled by a pair of lawsuits filed by the London Health Sciences Centre that total more than $60 million. One statement of claim alleges a complex scheme by some former employees and a local contractor to defraud the hospital by overcharging for capital projects and manipulating procurement processes. The second suit alleges the former CEO, CFO, and an executive ignored a report flagging the potential fraud. Western University political scientist Martin Horak offers a prescription for public institutions and their board of directors.
The remedies to that really are transparency and accountability.
Horak observes some common threads when it comes to governance failures.
There's often a tendency in big bureaucracies to kind of accumulate power, accumulate resources, and that can create an environment where governance can go wrong, where people can begin, in the organization, can begin pursuing their own interests.
The allegations contained in the statements of claim have not been tested in court. However, simply their release is raising questions about trust in public institutions, their governance, and oversight.
When trust is undermined, it does take a while for it to be restored. It's a complicated process.
Last September, the entire LHSC Board of Directors voluntarily resigned. In response to a governance shortfall, Horak says there's a tendency to overly tighten rules, which down the road can lead to higher costs and slower response to challenges.
It's not so much about keeping organizations like that on a tight leash. It's about making sure that those organizations are open about what they're doing and how they're doing it.
Statements of defense have not yet been filed by the individuals being sued by LHSC. Daryl Newcomb, CTV News.
Officials with Western University say they're offering incentives for potential researchers defecting from the U.S. Jerry DeWan has more on the academics they're hoping to recruit and the compensation available to them.
Under the Trump administration, funding for research projects across the United States has been slashed or is at risk of being cut. And that's opened the window of opportunity for Western University.
Western is making a bold investment in the next generation of researchers.
Florentine Stelchik is provost and vice president academic for Western. The university is significantly expanding initiatives designed to attract doctoral and postdoctoral researchers who have expressed an interest in coming to London.
Postdoctoral program has received an extraordinary attention, and so we are doubling the program from 19 students to 40 students, actually.
The postdoctoral fellowship program includes a $70,000 stipend for 2 years, which includes benefits. There's also a research allowance, and those attracting federal awards receive a $15,000 top-up. Stelchik says the researchers will have highly respected mentors.
The students who will apply to the program will be supported by our world-class researchers, and they will receive the training and the mentorship to continue or launch their careers.
There will be 25 positions for doctoral students, each receiving $160,000 over 4 years. Stelchik says the opportunities aren't exclusive to those studying in the U.S. She's hopeful that whoever the program attracts, they'll opt to continue having a foundation in London.
Those students can launch their careers, fulfill their dreams here, and become possibly members of our community, carrying their innovation potential into whatever career they aspire to.
Stelchik says money for the doctoral and postdoctoral initiatives comes from an existing pool of funding available for these types of opportunities. Jerry Dewan, CTV News.
Fraud experts are warning about an increase in text message scams. As John Venevalley Rao reports, criminals are turning to artificial intelligence to make bogus messages look more legitimate.
The latest warning comes from the Competition Bureau, which says more people have been seeing those annoying scam texts pop up, claiming to be from agencies like Revenue Canada, or that you owe money for a toll highway, often including a link that scammers are trying to get you to click on. Janine Compton recently got one claiming she was caught speeding and had to pay a fine, and initially thought it might be real.
I almost got taken, but I didn't click on the link. I don't know what would have happened if I clicked on the link. I did not click. I just blocked the number.
Compton was the target of a scam known as SMS phishing or smishing. The texts often claimed to be from an actual organization or business. And while they used to contain things like spelling errors, making them easier to spot, AI services like ChatGPT are making them harder to detect.
Spelling mistakes used to be a tell, particularly when people had to write these messages themselves, and often it was people who didn't necessarily speak English as their first language.
The Canadian Anti-Fraud Centre warns AI can also allow messages to be sent out at a faster rate, and warns scammers are using AI to scrape information about you from the internet.
Some of the messages may include some of your personal information as an extra way to try to convince you that it's a legitimate message, right?
The advice: never click on suspicious links, ignore texts even if asked to reply with stop or no, and forward spam text to 7726 or spam. And of course, delete them to avoid accidental interaction.
But as AI technology continues to improve, more people may fall victim, which is why the Anti-Fraud Centre and others want everyone to remain vigilant. John Venevalley Rao, CTV News, Toronto.
The next phase in Dundas East reconstruction gets underway Monday. It means commuters and business owners will be dealing with reduced lanes and detours for months. As Brian Bicknell reports, there's hope the short-term pain will be worth the long-term gains.
And anyone can see, we've tried to patch the best we can. Come winter, when the freeze-thaw cycle starts, those patches are not going to hold, and we're going to be back to huge holes in this road that sees 30,000 vehicles a day traveling on it, so it has to get fixed now.
Ward 2 councillor and Deputy Mayor Sean Lewis points to the uneven pavement and potholes along a stretch of Dundas in his ward. He says the days of bumpy rides through Argyle will soon be over.
Ripping out all the asphalt, going right down to the aggregate base layer, making the repairs to the base layer, repaving, switching to the other side, and doing the same thing all over again.
Beginning Monday, Dundas between Burdick Place and Beatrice Street will have reduced lanes in each direction while the road is reconstructed.
2 weeks notice, they give a letter, and then that's all you get.
While businesses will remain open, garage owner James Patrick worries it will be hard for customers to get to his shop.
I think it's a terrible idea to do it this time of year when you have Oxford all ripped up. People can't get through at all. Shuts down the East End. There's a lot of old businesses here, a lot of businesses that rely on traffic coming down Dundas, and when they can't, it hurts them.
It's going to be tough on us because I need to make the numbers to make everything happen and pay the guys.
The city says sidewalks will be temporarily closed at times and pedestrians detoured. Drivers are encouraged to find alternate routes where possible.
It's not good. It's bad. It's been going on way too long. Way too long. Even Highbury overpass, I don't know, God knows when that'll be open. They took the whole one side of it out.
Work is expected to take 8 to 10 weeks and be completed in the fall. Brian Bicknell, CTV News.
Ontario's opposition party leader is calling out the provincial government and the decision to take over 4 public school boards, including the Thames Valley District Board. With more on those criticisms, here's Beth McDonnell.
Matthias D. Dovidas is an elected TDSB school trustee.
Yet go online and check his webpage, you'll see this banner which says the power of trustees now falls under the Minister of Education. His job no longer defined.
Currently, we're being told not to respond directly to any parents and to forward them to a central email.
Today, he joined Ontario's leader of the opposition, school union leaders, and parents in calling for investments to education over cuts. There is some fear this could be a step to eliminating school trustees, which advocates here say are vital to navigate a large school system.
Despite the fact that the TDSB balanced its budget and that the investigation found no evidence of financial mismanagement, the Ford government continues to place the blame on trustees rather than where it belongs, squarely on themselves.
At the end of June, the Education Minister announced he was taking control of 4 school boards, including the Toronto District School Board, the Toronto Catholic District School Board, and Dufferin-Peel Catholic District School Board, and appointed supervisors at each. Writing in a statement to CTV News, "We are restoring accountability in Ontario's education system and putting all trustees on notice. Focus on your mandate or step aside." The NDP and Liberals have made their choice to defend trustees who abuse public funds and fail students. They protect broken boards and oppose accountability. While they fight to support out-of-touch school board trustees, we will fight for students, parents, and teachers. The NDP blames the Conservatives for not investing enough in schools, saying instead since 2018, funding per student in Ontario has decreased by $1,500.
Doug Ford is using his own underfunding to justify a political power grab. And now local schools are being run by inexperienced political insiders.
I see parents being pushed to the sidelines in this. Staff are stretched beyond their capacity. And it's our children who are falling through the cracks.
The minister says he's focused on listening to parents and teachers about setting students up for success and less concerned about the opinions of trustees that have failed in putting students first. Beth McDonnell, CTV News.
Nearly 24 teenage girls from across the region showed off their newfound skills today, wrapping up a firefighter training camp. The Future Firefighters in Training program put 23 girls between 15 and 19 years old through the paces this week. Organizers call it an intense and physically demanding process, introducing young women to a possible career in firefighting. Today's activities included aerial ladders, rappelling down a training tower, and mock rescue scenarios.
It definitely was scary at first, but this camp really helped us overcome a lot of those fears and gave us the confidence and awareness that we can do these kind of challenges.
I really liked all the opportunity and the huge confidence boost because I want to be a firefighter and hopefully go to Lambton, but it just gave me the opportunity to try all the things that they do and do the training, and I realized that I love it and I want to be one when I'm older.
And it's a mentoring program, so even if they choose not to get into the fire service, it's about putting on the gear, doing difficult tasks while having mentors around you that are invested in your success, so that whatever career path they choose, they just put their full effort into it.
Still ahead, a first for southwestern Ontario, the Chatham Funeral Home offering a new afterlife option. Plus, a new bestseller by Brittle Star offering feline-inspired techniques for joining the resistance.
CTV News app and stay on top of local stories as they unfold.
We begin tonight with Ontario's latest.
Customize your feed and watch live wherever you are. ctvlondon.ca, your home for news.
Welcome back. City staff are proposing a relaunched loan initiative at City Hall meant to help middle-income earners get into the housing market. Brian Bicknell has more on the renewed interest in an old program.
Home ownership. It's a dream that's so close yet so far for some people.
It's a pretty big dream. It's kind of priority number one for us. We really want to get our own place.
Dave Lewis and his wife have rented an apartment in this downtown London high-rise for the past 18 years. But he says they've outgrown the place and want a home of their own. And while they both work, they don't make quite enough money to buy a decent house.
There's so many factors: the housing market, banks, the interest rates for banks getting a proper mortgage, being able to compete, lack of availability.
City staff is proposing the reintroduction of a long-dormant program to help middle-income earners purchase their first home. The Affordable Home Ownership Program would assist renters and first-time buyers in London and Middlesex with down payments and closing costs in the form of a forgivable loan. Deputy Mayor Sean Lewis says this is an opportunity worth considering.
Because it frees up rental stock, and that has been the single biggest driver of housing affordability in our city for the last 6-7 years.
The original home ownership program went from 2008 to 2013 when market conditions at that time forced the closure of the program. The city says while the market has stabilized, the average home price does not match the average income. The program was funded by the provincial and federal governments. In 5 years, it issued 270 loans, lent out $2.3 million, discharged 173 loans, and received $2.4 million in payments. There are currently 97 remaining loans which will reach maturity between 2025 and 2033. The revolving loan fund now has a balance of $3.1 million.
It really is kind of a use it or lose it. I mean, we could leave it sitting there, but we can't use it for other things.
Eligible households in the relaunched program would be offered interest-free loans over 20 years, covering up to 5% of the home's purchase price to a maximum of $25,000.
We would like to be able to build equity with a property, and with renting, that's just not possible.
Brian Bicknell, CTV News.
A funeral home in Chatham will soon offer a first-of-its-kind service in southwestern Ontario, a water-based alternative to cremation. As Chris Campbell reports, the process is considered a more environmentally friendly way to say goodbye.
It looks like a cross between a hospital appliance and a hot water tank, but what happens inside is far more unique.
The process itself replaces flame with water. So instead of a flame breaking down a person's remains to a basic element, water does that work.
Water, with some help from an alkaline solution. Funeral home founders James and Leanne McNeil say aquamation costs about the same as cremation, but it's a greener choice. They say cremation releases hundreds of kilograms of carbon dioxide into the atmosphere per person.
If you did a search on what is the most environmentally safe or prudent way to take care of a deceased human body, it would be alkaline hydrolysis.
There's no carbon emissions, and it's so much better for the environment. So it just seems better all the way around.
The process became legal in the province in 2014.
For myself, the idea of fire did not sit well with me. Now with this, the option of water, it sits better with me. It seems a little more gentle.
Aquamation is regulated by the Bereavement Authority of Ontario, which oversees funeral, burial, and cremation services in the province. The BAO tells CTV News there are 5 licensed alkaline hydrolysis facilities in Ontario: Arnprior, Peterborough, Newcastle, Whitby, and Kingston.
I like it. I like water better than fire, let's put it that way. But I'm dead, so who cares?
I already paid my funeral. I want to go in a casket.
In my opinion, they're dead. Whatever way works for them, works for them. If they want to go, I guess, the old school way with normal cremation, go normal cremation. If, they want to do the new high-tech way, by all means, suit themselves, right?
The McNeils say they've already had several families show interest, but they won't be operational until the end of July.
There's never, in Chatham, Kent, there's never once been a crematorium. So we've thought, let's change that, and we're actually going to jump over traditional cremation and move right to what we believe is the future with the water.
This will be the 6th one in the province and the first one in this region.
Culturally, we've been moving away from full burial.
Chris Campbell, CTV News.
A Stratford-based author's new book has hit North American bestseller lists. It's a combination of humor, felines, and existential political dread. With more on lessons from a cat for surviving fascism, here's Jeff Pickle.
Naps are resistance chapter. That's the best thing.
It's a book with biting wit and sharp claws.
Yeah, it started off as a bit of a joke.
A big fan of our feline friends and an astute political observer, Stuart Reynolds, says this little joke turned into a much bigger idea.
So cats were the first thing that came to mind, because cats are jerks. Cats are fluffy little resistance machines. I thought it would be really funny to sort of see how cats would deal with fascists.
Reynolds says the notoriously stubborn and often sleepy animal is full of clues about how to deal with dangerous political undertones.
They make decisions based on what's solely best for them, but in a positive way for everybody else around them and their family and community.
Reynolds is well known for his funny and often political humor.
Thank you for joining. I'm here to deliver a Christmas message from the Government of Canada. Daddy's gonna need some knowledge.
He says wrapping a serious situation in a few laughs is a good way to lower the political temperature.
Through comedy, you can talk to people in a non-combative way, non-confrontational way. You can it's a spoonful of sugar to positive or constructive messaging. It's a way to talk about things that are normally uncomfortable or normally wouldn't be that pleasant to talk about, but you can do it in a manner that's entertaining and fun.
Despite the humor, Reynolds says he has real concerns about creeping authoritarianism.
Since World War II, haven't had to think about it. We've been like, everything's fine. Don't worry about it. Don't worry, you don't have to pay attention. Don't pay attention. And then realizing, I think we've kind of let go of the wheel a little bit.
With the book on shelves since June of this year.
I've been referring to the book as a silly little book for smart people or a smart book for silly people.
It's hit the bestseller list in Canada and the United States, sharing the four-legged art of resistance around the globe. Jeff Pickle, CTV News, Stratford.
And Julie's on the desk with me now, as we've heard about already about the heat for this weekend and then possibly beyond. But we're also talking active weather, thunderstorms in the area.
Yeah, so it'll be one of those weekends where you'll feel the heat and humidity through the entire weekend. Tomorrow will be the hottest day, but scattered showers and thunderstorms will be developing across southern Ontario. So this is something to keep in mind, especially as you head out to perhaps the beach or your pool parties or you're spending any time outdoors. Late afternoon into the evening, we could see severe weather. So with these storms coming in, there's a potential for intense lightning, heavy downpours, and strong gusty winds. Now today, temperature-wise, we hit the upper 20s in southern Ontario. We had a band of rain move through earlier in the day, and we still have the risk for scattered showers and thunderstorms. Now, we have seen some thunderstorms bubbling up in the last hour. Not everyone picking up the storms. So it's funny because there was a storm in London last night, and one end of the city got it, the other end of the city did not. That's what we're looking at as we head over the next 6 to 8 hours. Overnight, we will see the probability drop off just a bit. We have a stationary boundary that's been sitting south of us. As it waves northward, it creates lots of instability and a little wave of low pressure that has developed along it. Overnight, that warm front actually will slowly lift back in, keeping us into the unstable air, and through the day, Saturday, into the warm sector. Now, across the country, Western Canada is starting to see temperatures rebound. A state of emergency has been issued for the second time this season in Manitoba due to the forest fires and poor air quality now. Smoke continues across that region. Smoke filtering into northwestern Ontario as well, prompting widespread watches and warnings. And you can see this is black carbon indicated. You can really see where the smoke has set up, and it's slowly seeping eastward, so just starting to approach now James Bay. Overnight, mainly cloudy conditions. We'll see the cloud cover break up as we head towards sunrise. Temperatures anywhere from 19 to 21 degrees. Watch the forecast model. You can still see some thunderstorms starting to move through the Bruce. That's overnight and towards Sarnia, Lambton, Elgin County as well, through the early part of the morning. Around the scattered showers and thunderstorms first thing again in the Bruce, and then we're in for a beautiful day until the afternoon, evening, where there will be the pop-up thunderstorms around. Many of you, of course, heading to outdoor festivals, Rock the Park perhaps. Be prepared. We could see some thunderstorms as you push through the late afternoon into the evening. On Sunday, still the chance for showers, still quite warm and humid across the region. Winds out of the southwest, 20 with gusts of 40, 31, feeling like 41 in the afternoon. Our Metal Roof Outlet forecast for your Sunday, a 40% chance of showers and 28, 30 on Monday, full sun sunshine. A big area of high pressure builds in. We have some stability in the forecast Monday into Tuesday, although it'll be quite warm. It'll feel like the mid-30s. 27 on Wednesday with a chance of evening showers, and we could see some light rainfall Thursday into Friday. Now, daytime highs for this time of year, right around where we should be. We will average a bit above, especially as we head through the weekend. It's really tomorrow where you'll notice the intense heat and humidity, again, feeling 40 plus. Saturday afternoon, thunderstorms expected. Sunday, the chance for showers. No cool down, though, coming with the cold front that's moving through. Back to full sunshine Monday into Tuesday with daytime highs between 28 and 30. Carlyle, back to you.
Thanks, Julie. Still ahead, growing frustration over concert ticket gouging. Fans fed up over price manipulation.
Coming up this weekend, once again, we'll be hosting the iHeartRadio Pure Country Countdown, Saturdays at 9 and Sundays at 4.
Make sure you listen because we got details on Ellen Langley's new album and the one place you will never, ever find Blake Shelton.
The local unemployment rate increased last month. According to data from Stats Canada, the London area jobless rate was 7.2% in June, up from 6.9% in May. Meanwhile, the national rate fell to 6.9% after 83,000 jobs were added last month. Stats Canada officials say most of those positions were part-time. A warning for concert goers. The best time to buy might not be the day tickets go on sale. As Pat Foran reports, price drops are becoming more common as artists overestimate demand.
Kendrick Lamar brought his concert tour to Toronto last month, and fans were excited to see the Los Angeles rapper perform.
They put on a great show, so I was very happy that I went.
Brenda P. of Toronto is a big fan and wanted to be sure to see the concert, so the day the tickets went on sale, she bought 3 for just over $1,700. But as concert day approached, she noticed prices falling fast.
I've noticed that the tickets I bought, like the seats around, were significantly cheaper than what I purchased them for. So even better seats were going for much, much less.
Leading up to the show, she noticed similar seats selling for almost $1,000 less.
What exactly did I pay for with my money if you're going to price them much cheaper later on?
She's like one of my all-time favorite artists.
Kyle Dawson of Toronto is looking forward to seeing Kesha play later this month. He wanted to be sure to get tickets, so on the first day of sales, he bought 1 ticket for almost $600. But he says not long after, prices started falling.
Shortly after I bought the ticket sales just plummeted in price.
Leading up to the concert, Dawson says he could now get a similar seat for just $113.
As a hardcore fan, I'm overpaying for what I could pay for now. I could pay for the same seat for a quarter of the price.
We're starting to see a lot of artists going on the road with these ambitious tours, unable to fill all the seats.
Music expert Alan Cross says it's a classic case of supply and demand. He says while some fans may want to blame Ticketmaster, he says the pricing structure is set by the artist, their manager, and the promoter. While it's impossible to know when the best time to buy tickets is, it also depends how badly you want to go.
If it's a big show and you know it's going to be a sellout, well, then you have to participate in the original on sale. If you're on the fence or you're having cash flow problems early on, you might want to wait.
Dawson says now he won't be so quick to buy concert tickets in the future.
I've held back buying tickets just because I don't want the same situation to happen again.
Pat Foran, CTV News.
Amid renewed tariff threats, North American stock markets moved lower to close the week. In Toronto, the TSX lost 59 points. In New York, the Dow fell 279. The Nasdaq dropped 45. The Canadian dollar was unchanged today, a little more than 73 cents American. On commodity markets, gold gained more than $38 an ounce, and oil added $1.88 a barrel. Later on CTV News, a selfless gesture among strangers and a commitment to pay it forward. Welcome back. Police in Calgary are investigating a stabbing attack at the Stampede earlier this week. Local officials say security protocols remain the same, at least until police indicate changes should be made. But as Alicia Fieldberg reports, some guests say security has been stepped up.
Video captures a violent attack on the Stampede Midway, including what appears to be a stabbing. It was posted to social media, and now Calgary police believe it may be connected to Tuesday night's triple stabbing. The video is partially blurred because the people involved appear to be minors. The incident sent 3 teens to hospital with serious and life-threatening injuries. While it weighs on many people's minds, it isn't changing their Stampede plans.
It's definitely scary, but I think there definitely was a lot of crowd.
I did read about it, yeah, but it doesn't concern me. I figure they've got enough security that they know what they're doing.
Some guests say security seems more thorough than it was before the attack.
I came about 3 days ago, and it was much better. They had higher standards this time, and they actually were checking everybody properly, and rather than being it's okay and letting it go.
Police are unsure how the weapon used in the stabbing got onto the grounds. Officers are at every entry gate supporting Stampede security, who search belongings and screen attendees as they pass through metal detectors.
They checked my bag, and then we walked through the metal detector.
They did make sure they had a thorough look in us all.
Quick pat down, but smooth. The people that are working, they do their job properly. They know what to do. Make sure that everyone's in here is safe.
Growing attendance does raise concerns for some. The day of the attack, a record-breaking 193,000 people came to the grounds, many for a popular concert on the outdoor stage.
Maybe just keeping a better eye on things and the crowds, especially. I feel like they can get out of hand sometimes.
A security expert says you need a balance to manage risks while preserving the Stampede experience.
It's at the point where you strip search everybody that comes in. Do you have cops every 3 feet? It's just, do you over-police to the point that it's not a fun event anymore?
Police are still investigating the attack, which they say was between 2 groups of people who knew each other. Guests say they still feel safe and focus on the fun.
In a busy event like this, stuff's bound to happen, but as long as they're taking proper precautions after that, then I'll feel safe here.
If I don't have any problems with someone, why am I scared to come to the Stampede, right?
Alicia Fieldberg, CTV News, Calgary.
First Nations leaders say an ancestral burial site was desecrated in Oshawa during a recent construction project. The site is next to the new Ontario Power Generation headquarters. A joint statement from 4 First Nations indicates remains were found within large excavated soil piles. It also says the site is well known and culturally significant for the Indigenous communities. Leaders say excavation went ahead without the usual archaeological assessment required by the Ontario Heritage Act. A statement from Ontario Power Generation says a bone fragment was found during excavation work on July 3rd. It goes on to read, Durham Regional Police conducted an initial criminal forensic investigation, and they, along with the coroner, assessed the fragment as ancestral since it had been buried for a prolonged period. OPG recognizes the significance and sensitivity of this finding. It adds, we are committed to working closely with local Indigenous communities and authorities to ensure a thorough and culturally respectful investigation.
Kicking off the weekend with a heat warning. Thank you to Jenna Bannister from Elsa Craig. Madeline says the wheat is getting close to harvest. Severe thunderstorms possible across the area this weekend with some heavy downpours. Temperatures are set to climb into the low 30s and feeling close to 40.
The Israeli Prime Minister left Washington today without a Gaza ceasefire announcement.
At the beginning of this ceasefire, we will enter negotiations for a permanent end of the war, meaning a permanent ceasefire. If it can't be achieved in 60 days of talks, we'll achieve it by other means, by using the power of our heroic army.
Palestinian health authorities reported more deaths and injuries overnight, blamed on Israeli strikes. Since the October 7th attacks, they say Israel has killed 57,000 people in the Gaza Strip. Israelis have claimed their forces are only targeting Hamas militants. Staff safety is under scrutiny at an Eastern Ontario hospital after a nurse was attacked by a patient, leaving serious injuries. As Dylan Dyson reports, even before this violent incident, staff were bringing up safety concerns.
Staff at the Pembroke Regional Hospital are on edge after a nurse was attacked by a patient.
One of our members, a registered nurse at Pembroke, was assaulted at the nurses' station and lost consciousness.
It happened June 20th in the hospital's emergency department. The Ontario Nurses Association says a complaint has been filed with the Ministry of Labour.
This nurse has pressed charges with the support of the hospital with respect to this assault. And I fully support that as well.
In a statement, the Pembroke Regional Hospital says, "We want to express how sorry we are that this event took place. From the outset, our thoughts were with our injured staff member, as well as all staff and physicians who were both affected and impacted by this event." A source who works at the hospital tells CTV News staff have raised concerns that they are not safe on the job. The source at the hospital says they have sat in meetings with hospital management where multiple safety concerns have been raised, including the need for locks on the door of the ER's mental health room, key fob access to the emergency department, and 24/7 on-site security. The source says in May they witnessed a patient with a knife stabbing a stretcher repeatedly in the ER mental health room, which does not have a lock on the door.
Nurses and healthcare professionals are assaulted with weapons, fists, words, spat on, kicked every single day in every emergency department in this province.
The hospital says it is addressing staff concerns, writing in a statement, "A great deal of work has been done to improve safety and security throughout our facility and specifically in our emergency department." Advocates say more funding is needed at hospitals for increased security.
They should have security 24/7 in the hospital, not just the emergency department. There should be controlled access so nurses aren't assaulted.
Dylan Dyson, CTV News, Pembroke.
A young moose is on the road to recovery after being rescued from a roadside in eastern Ontario. The calf appears to be blind and was likely abandoned by its mother. But as Natalie Van Roy reports, it's now in a position to survive and thrive.
Hi, sweetie. Hi, sweetie. Meet Cedar, a young moose found abandoned in St. Isidore outside of Ottawa. The calf appears to be blind with an injured leg.
He's doing okay. He's definitely stressed, and he does call out, I think, hoping to find his mom. But he has been good for the staff to work with.
He was rescued from the side of a busy road earlier this week and brought here to Holly Haven's Wildlife Rescue.
Wandering around looking for mom, but unfortunately mom has been probably long gone by that point, because as you were told, moms usually have twins, and when an animal gets to the point where she can't look after both because the one keeps falling behind, well, nature has a way of dealing with that, unfortunately.
Cedar is eating and sleeping. Staff are hoping to nurse him back to health.
Ideally, we would be able to heal him here, get him in good health, and then transfer him to Aspen Valley Wildlife Sanctuary that has amazing, huge moose enclosures. Hey, baby.
Next steps are getting a farm veterinarian on site this week to do an eye exam and an x-ray on his leg. For now, they're keeping Cedar comfortable in his new enclosure. Holly's Haven Wildlife Rescue staff say they were able to make a temporary enclosure for Cedar because of the generous donations from the public.
The public has already pitched in the branches and the items we need for his care. But what we're really trying to do is expand and have proper enclosures ready for these types of circumstances.
While volunteers keep a close eye on the young calf, there's hope that Cedar has a long, healthy life ahead of him. Natalie Van Roy, CTV News.
London's top stories.
We have breaking news tonight out of Ottawa. The latest on the
breaking news alerts.
I'm tracking an area of severe weather. It'll start.
And watch live.
A development now to a story from City Hall we brought you.
Download the CTV News app.
Welcome back. Finally tonight, a life-changing experience for a BC man facing overwhelming adversity. Adam Sawatsky has more on the difference an act of Canadian kindness can make.
Well, it's not unusual to find people camping like this over the summer. Glenn is not.
Yeah, I've kind of had a weird life.
After being diagnosed with stage 4 prostate cancer,
That was pretty scary.
and being rent-evicted from his home of 18 years,
At times I felt like quitting.
Glenn Edgeworth and his cats, Jack and Ollie, found themselves living in an RV along busy streets.
There's a big crack in the pavement. So all you hear all day, all night is tunk, 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 tunk.
After living like that for a year, Glenn received this notice prohibiting him from parking there, which meant he had nowhere else to go.
It was pretty devastating.
It made the news, and Glenn was featured in multiple media reports, which inspired a few people to offer parking spots at a price before one knocked on his door offering a place for free.
And I tried to give him $100, and he's like, "No, I don't need that."
When Glenn asked why, the man who wishes to remain anonymous answered with 4 words.
That's what Canadians do.
And this, it turns out, is not a campsite. This is Glenn's new home.
I was literally in tears over it.
While he struggled to fall asleep that first night because it was too quiet,
Because I was listening to the humming of my fridge. I haven't heard that in so long.
Glenn celebrated waking up the next morning to the sounds of so many new neighbors.
Birds chirping.
And this deer, he's named Bambi. What do you think he was saying to you?
Welcome to the hood.
Where Jack and Ollie can sit safely outside, and Glenn can find solace.
And I'm really grateful for my own situation, but I don't see the story stopping here.
Once he gets settled, Glenn is hoping to pay it forward by using his phone to record others experiencing homelessness and sharing their stories on his YouTube channel.
Realizing other people's humanity.
And connect people who need help with those who can help.
And doing what Canadians do.
Adam Sawatsky, CTV News.
That's it for us. Thanks for watching. For your latest local headlines, you can always head to our website. I'm back tonight with your late news at 11. Bye for now.